12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
All right, welcome back in. And before we get to our picks for this week, let's take a look at the current standings. Connor Thompson and our producer, Aaron Smith, sliding back a bit in a tie in fifth between Keith and Kyle. And Zach Grady, who's not with us today. We're missing you, Zach. He's taking that top spot from us, guys. Jeez, I need to do better this week. I need to correct them all.
Yeah, last week was brutal. I think I went 1-5 last week. That was one that stung a little bit.
It just hasn't been doing great for me. I don't know about for you.
I don't even want to speak about it. I don't even want to speak about it.
Get a little sore spot on that one. All right, let's get to our games. We have number 5, Indiana at Ohio State. Number 2, Ohio State. They're taking Ohio State minus 12. Who you got?
Yeah, so the big debate around this has been Indiana's strength of schedule is almost like the bottom of the FBS. Not their fault, though. They played both teams that were in the national championship game last year and beat them. Those teams aren't good. I'm sorry. This is their national championship game, though. They win this game, and they are undisputedly in the college football playoff. I think that spread is disrespectful. I'm going with Indiana.
And this is the first top 5 matchup Indiana has had since the 1950s. This is the first time that they haven't beat Ohio State since, I think, 1984 was the last time I saw. But this is the chance where they do have an opportunity to beat them. Ohio State's Seth McLaughlin, their starting center, he's out. Josh Simmons still out. Their offensive line is looking really, really rough right now. Ohio State struggled covering outside against Oregon. That's exactly what the strength is of Indiana. They're able to throw that fade outside to the back shoulder. That could be real dangerous for them, so give me Indiana.
I'm taking Indiana as well for that spread. Kevin, you taking?
Yeah, Indiana.
There we go. We're moving on to number 14, BYU at Arizona State University. They're taking Arizona at minus 3. I'm going to go with BYU on this one. They've impressed me so far this season. Who you got?
Yeah, BYU has impressed me as well. Coming off the loss last week, let's call this a get-back game, get-right game. If they do want to make the playoff, which they are in the driver's seat to do so at the moment, they really, really need this one versus an ASU team that has been hot lately. Let's go with the Cougars.
Yeah, last week it was a rough Saturday night in Provo. I mean, losing to Kansas, but Kansas was the team that looked better at the beginning of the season. Injuries kind of got in their way, but ASU has been climbing up week after week. They've been looking better and better. However, BYU has been iffy in red zone. I think they haven't scored in their last 4 red zone trips. I think that Retzloff gets it together. This is their do-or-die week. If they want to make the playoffs, they have to win here, so give me BYU.
Yep, I agree. Like I said, it's the minus 3. I think BYU is going to take this one. All right, we're going to move on real quick here to number 24, Army at Notre Dame. And it's a 14.5 spread, which is very surprising. We were talking about this earlier. In my opinion, this is the game that I circled. I'm taking Notre Dame in this one. They have been a little bit shaky so far. They've obviously climbed, but I'm going to still trust in the Fighting Irish.
I think a key thing to look at here is that Notre Dame has already played Navy this season. Might not mean much, but these are the only 2 teams that are going to run the triple option in college football, meaning that, you know, they've already played a team like this before. They know how to game plan for it. The teams aren't exactly the same, but Notre Dame should have a strong chance in this one. I'm going with the Fighting Irish.
It's actually surprised me how much Army has passed the ball. Like, you think they're triple option just like Navy. That's what they have time to practice for. But they've surprised me a lot with their quarterback throwing a lot. Kyle, what do you see from this game?
I mean, Army's another academy team, but Notre Dame plays 2 academy teams every single year, so it's not as hard for them to prep for this game as it is maybe other teams that are playing more SEC teams.
Being the independents.
And in the last 8 games for the Notre Dame, their 8-game win streak, they put up nearly 43 points every game. I think they have too solid of an offense right now. They're really clicking. Army's not going to be able to keep up with that. Give me Notre Dame.
Yep, and then we're going to go out west. USC is minus 5 favorites over UCLA. I'm going to take USC in this one. I'm going to always trust in Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I got to take USC as well. In my opinion, UCLA is right down there at the bottom of the Big Ten with the likes of Purdue, Northwestern, all these teams. USC should take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, Miller Moss hasn't looked as great as he was expected to this year. But UCLA, they have had some rough losses, don't get me wrong. But they've been climbing back slowly but surely. They have been putting up better performance after better performance each week, while USC's kind of been the flip side of that coin, looking worse and worse as the year has gone on. So I'm going to take the Bruins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let's go UCLA.
You never know what's going to happen in a rivalry game, so anything could really happen on that front. But, yeah, I mean, Lincoln Riley is a quarterback recruit. They just lost out on one of their top recruits, as we were talking about in the break earlier. So that was a big blow with him going and choosing Deion Sanders out in Colorado, who is very interesting as well. But real quick, your last thoughts, the game that you're going to be most looking forward to today.
Yeah, so something I'm looking at is, like we're talking about Colorado. They take on Kansas today. We've talked about this Kansas team a little bit. They beat BYU last week. I think things are setting up for that BYU-Colorado Big 12 championship game. Hope it happens. Rooting for the Buffaloes today.
Here we go. What do you got?
Don't you just love it when a 5 versus 2 matchup's on Big Noon? And because who would ever want to watch a primetime game at a primetime time slot? Like, who would want to watch a game like that at 7:30 o'clock at night? Now let's watch it at noon.
True. Let's do it. Well, all right. Well, that'll do it for Southern Tier Kickoff. For Kyle, for Kevin, for Keith out in the field, I'm Michael Villegas. Thank you for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everyone. Take care.